This was a quick one since not much happened, but a lot of reveals. We see Igrum and Chaka worried about King Cobra and Vivi, and Pell is flying off to search for Vivi as well.
Where's Rick?
I'm
Don't care. Where's Rick?
Weird that we see Chaka's face, but not Pell's face. Maybe he went through some change over the time skip. All the stowaways escaped on ships. Vivi and Wapol were going to see Morgans and spill some tea once they arrived on Aegis. Morgans would go there to pretend to look for a scoop. Wapol still hasn't told Vivi about her father either, which is probably for the best, or she would want to go back to help him. Also, I imagine the Gorosei swept up Cobra's body and dumped it off Mary Joa. I shouldn't laugh, but I think that imagery was funny. CP0 agents are looking for Vivi and Sabo.
Have you seen this man?
Oh, it's the maniac! Take him away! Take him away!
Calm down, son. It's just a drawing, not the real thing. Now we're gonna show you this picture again, and you tell us if you've seen this guy, understand?
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, horrible! Ah, ah! Ah! Ah!
Sabo is on Lucia's ship grimacing in pain, and Bonnie is on Taijin's ship. I wonder what happened to Taijin because the reverie happened a few weeks ago, but the Straw Hats ran into Bonnie in the warm eddy. Bonnie kinda ended up in the ocean somehow. Maybe the time it took for them to sail all the way near the Straw Hats was a few weeks, and the ship sank right when the Straw Hats were nearby, since the Straw Hats are pretty far away from the Red Line in retrospect. The Gore say something interesting by saying Sabo has a checkered fate being surrounded by D's. Pause. Anyways, on to the Imu part. Wow, Oda letting us hear about Imu for 3 chapters in a row. We're eating good. Imu talks about testing the Mother Flame, but this wording could be that Vegapunk's invention was something separate which powers the Mother Flame, or the Mother Flame is Vegapunk's invention to power an ancient weapon. But if Vegapunk created a weapon, he would probably have a failsafe or at least a counter against it, similar to the blueprints to Pluton. The Gorosei talk about using it in the forest rather than the sea as their target, but Imu says to target Lucia, which has a lot of people there. Whoever Imu is, they do not seem to care about the consequences. When one of the Gorosei asks why Lucia as the selection, Imu says it's close proximity. Not that they were rebelling, not because of some hatred, and not even because of some background lore, but just because Lucia is in close proximity. This was a very childish reasoning, and the Gorosei don't like using it on a country full of people, but they must follow their god's will. The Gorosei even try to rationalize Imu's choice, saying that they have shown sparks of rebellion and that they would make an example out of them. Oh, and Imu wants Vivi too, I guess. Some Lily connection here probably, but since she is probably now wanted, I think Vivi might soon join the revolutionaries, which would be ironic because of the civil war that happened in Alabasta, and I can see Oda doing that. Or she might join with the Straw Hats after Egghead. The Marines with their hands full deploy the Seraphim, and we get the reveal of the rest of the Seraphim. These Seraphims all look sick, and the Doflamingo and Moria Seraphim probably got their own original devil fruits. Crocodiles especially look sick, and I wonder what devil fruit he might get, because we know that Vegapunk can only replicate Paramecias and Zoans. I'm thinking of the Wax fruit, because the Seraphim have Lunarian DNA and can use the flame to maybe melt the wax. Another option is Magellan's poison fruit, because Crocodile used poison back in Alabasta. Or maybe we get to see a Zoan devil fruit in one of these Seraphims, and that might be Crocodile. His devil fruit just might be a crocodile. We'll just have to wait and see, and I'm excited to see these new Seraphim in action. These Seraphims are deployed to go to Cross Guild, so we might see the crocodiles battle it out, and maybe Mihawk can finally use a named attack. I want to see Mihawk the Child Killer. Sabo talks about how the citizens of Lucia were happy that Sabo had killed King Cobra, and were ready to become part of the revolution. Dragon has this pause, so I wonder what he's thinking here. Maybe he doesn't like that they are lying to the citizens about King Cobra's death because he talked about King Cobra being one of the few rulers that were good-natured. I hope these citizens aren't mainly out for blood, but actually want to help the revolutionary cause. Sabo talks about his big brain transponder snail play too.
I ain't reading all that.
I like pictures. Pictures are nice. We have not heard about rerouting Den Den Mushis before, but it makes sense if you want to send encrypted information. That's why this video is sponsored by NordVPN. Nah, I'm just kidding, I'm not sponsored. Sabo explains the Lulusia incident and how a shadow engulfed the sky and everything was gone. Dragon sweats when Sabo talks about a gigantic shadow. Maybe Dragon has an idea of what the Mother Flame might be, or at least what Vegapunk's creation is, since Vegapunk and Dragon are in contact with one another. Ivankov mentioned how the first 20 sovereigns 800 years ago had someone named Saint Imu of House Nerona. I was looking for why Oda chose this name, and Emperor Nero is a good theory that I've seen in the community because of the Roman ties, but I saw someone point this out from a Japanese blog. The 3 katakana letters here, Nerona, put together become the word Kami, which means God. The 2 characters for Imu put together becomes Buddha. So Imu's name means God and Buddha, which is crazy since Enel was called Kami and he created Raigo to destroy Skypiea, similar to what the Mother Flame did to Lulusia. Ivankov theorizes that Imu had the immortality surgeon done on them, but we as a community have been theorizing about this ever since Imu was revealed. But something I didn't notice the first time reading was that the book Ivankov is showing Sabo might say Genesis, referring to the book of Genesis. We know Kuma held a Bible and was also part of the revolutionaries, so it seems like these books have some significance to what happened 800 years ago. The book Ivankov shows also talks about the eternal youth surgery, so this book is where the rumor about the eternal surgery probably surfaced from. And the odd thing is that the actual book of Genesis kinda talks about Imu, because Mu means void or darkness. The book of Genesis says in the second line, "The earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the water." So this book that Ivankov has is talking about eternal youth, which might hint to Imu because of the void and darkness part in the actual Genesis. Ivankov says that Imu might be the same Imu 800 years ago as Saint Imu of Nerona, but Oda might have some twist here where maybe something is possessing Imu, or it is really some different Imu from the first 20 kingdoms. Next, Sabo, Dragon, and Ivankov discuss what the weapon might be. They think that Vegapunk created this weapon, or it's an ancient weapon. I don't think Vegapunk created this, but rather, as I said before, Imu and the Gorosei need some type of activation or fuel source that Vegapunk created. So, it might be a combination of both ideas, where Vegapunk's creation is needed to power an ancient weapon. This weapon is probably Uranus, because it's the least we have heard about, so the Celestials having them since the beginning makes sense, and why they say if they could harness the power freely, they would be able to wipe out any conflict, meaning that they don't have the ability to do so right now. Finally, we get to the final page where we get the reveal of the leader of the God Knights. What the heck? It's only been a few chapters when the God Knights were last mentioned, and we get a little teaser, a little toe dip into what God Knights are. This is crazy. Saint Figarland Garling is the leader's name, and he was the former king of God Valley. Theorists and power skillers are eating good right now. Figarland was a name heard in film Red when Shanks was mentioned, so Shanks having celestial ties is kind of crazy to think about. He also has the power to judge celestial dragons, and he crucified Saint Mosgard, always the Don Quixote getting into trouble. An idea I saw online that I'll put in the description by Among Us Fan 523 was that Imu will kill Saint Shepherd Jude Peter. The given name goes last in One Piece, meaning Saint Shepherd Jude Peter's shortened name would be Saint Peter, and Saint Peter is obviously a real saint. This connection probably hints at how the real-life Saint Peter is said to have been crucified in Rome under Emperor Nero. Imu's family name has also been revealed to be Nerona, with Nero being in Nerona. To add on this, I can see the crucifixion of Saint Mosgard as foreshadowing for not Imu, but Saint Figurlin Garling executing Saint Shepherd Jupiter under Imu's orders, since he can judge Celestial Dragon, and probably the Gorosei as well, but maybe not. If this were to happen, this would be an impactful moment and also show how powerful the God Knights truly are. Saint Shepherd Jupiter was also the one who questioned Imu, so there might be a hint of foreshadowing there. Really cool stuff this chapter, and I'd give it an 8 out of 10, just because not much happened, but we get some super sick reveals. This chapter was a hype setup for what's to come, like the Seraphim being developed to cross-guild, or what will happen with Vivi and Wapol. This was a strong way to pause before Oda's month-long break. I'm going to be posting out a few theories soon, so don't forget to sub so you don't miss those. Let Oda cook, and I'll see you guys next time.